What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we do upload Pokemon Go content related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Louis FL, thank you for the support. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a team that helped me go 20-5 in a day of Ultra League battles, and that is featuring Escavalier lead. Now, before I go any further, let me just first clarify something. I am still using double ice majority of the time in my battles. The main reason I switched to these teams was just to sort of throw off some of the opponents that I was seeing consistently day after day, because they would always suspect that I have double ice and started playing accordingly. So by mixing it up, I kind of got them guessing again, and since then I have gone back to double ice and caught a few of these people off guard because of it. So I've climbed back onto the leaderboard. I think at the time of this recording I was sitting about 2860, so we'll see where I am once the leaderboards update. But for this video, we're taking a look at Escavalier lead, pairing it with Giratina and Articuno in the back. I feel that this is somewhat better than the last team I showed of Articuno lead with Escavalier Giratina in the back, because that was really weak. It's like Togekiss and stuff in the back, so this I feel is a bit more play. Steel types obviously aren't as much of a problem anymore, and you're going to see some really good battles here, so let's get into it right now. So due to time constraints, we are going to try to pack a lot of these battles into one because it is the last day of Ultra League. So Escavalier into Giratina here, obviously a horrible lead for Escavalier. So I'm going to switch out right away into my own Giratina. A lot of times here, they're going to switch out into something that hard counters Giratina. If it's something like a Lapras, you know, you come in with Escavalier. Here we see a Registeel. So it's important to note that when they bring in a Registeel, you have the opportunity here to take switch advantage. And if you could put that Articuno onto their Giratina, you should be in a really good spot after that. So what I'm going to do here is actually let the opponent keep throwing flash cannons until I get very low in the red, because I know that he can't farm me down with lock on. And I want to get off as much damage onto the Registeel before he starts using shields as well. So if I'm not shielding, he's likely to not shield either. So now I do start shielding. And my main idea here is that I could probably take switch advantage here. Now he did stay a bit longer with the Giratina, so it wasn't good. I go down 2 shields here just to ensure that I can't get switched. So I throw Giant Claw here expecting the shield, but he actually lets it go through, so he wants to take the shield advantage. So now I commit to a super aggressive farm down, which I'm able to get. And that's really important because now I have 2 Giant Claws ready for whatever comes in, and he does bring in his own Giratina. So I'm going to throw 2 Giant Claws here, hopefully if I don't get farmed down. We get the second Giant Claw, that's huge. So now I'll be dry on energy. He'll farm me down, there's pretty much nothing to farm down, so that's really good. I can bring in Articuno now. Switches out into Cresselia. And switching out into Cresselia, I didn't want to bring in the Escavalier here right away because he does have 2 shields. So I kind of wanted to debuff this first. So I'm bringing in the Articuno here. Gonna get hit by a move, maybe a Future Sight even, but it is a Future Sight, so that's not optimal. Gonna throw one more Icy Wind here. And remember, the Giratina is very low in health. So for that reason, I don't need this Articuno as bulky in health as I need it to be. It doesn't need that much HP. So now I bring in a Escavalier here. And this Cresselia still has 2 shields. So at this point, I could pretty much just go for drill runs here. He switches out into Giratina, so I'm going to throw this drill run. Is this going to get the shield? It is. And I have a second one ready, so this is perfect for me. The opponent is going to have to burn both shields now. And at this point, the Giratina is going to do a lot of damage, but the next drill run should be enough to KO. So at this point, it's pretty much just a race as to when I could get there first. You can see a switch timer comes up, so I'm trying to switch. But as long as I can bring in the Articuno and farm down here, I should be in a good spot to win. So I do bring in Articuno, 2 seconds left. Moonblast will not KO, and we win by HP. So GG's there. Coming back from a very tough lead. Lurks here in the next matchup. Escavalier into Giratina Origin this time, so again, another very difficult lead for us. Gonna switch out again. You see, compared to my old strategy here of Articuno staying against almost anything, Escavalier is gonna be switching out a lot because it's not as dominant in the lead as some of those Articuno matches. So Registeel again coming in against Giratina. So I'm probably gonna play this out the same way. Just try to take switch advantage because I would like to get my Articuno onto their Giratina. And if they have something weak in the back to Escavalier like Cresselia or another Steel type, maybe double Steel, we'll be in an excellent position. So the opponent's going to throw the Flash Cannon here. And you can see I'm playing this out pretty much the same way. I think the main difference here is that I actually have the Registeel a bit lower. But it looked like I lagged there. Don't know if that would make a difference into me beating them to the move. But you could see that I did end up lagging and had to burn a second shield again. And he switches out into Giratina Origin. So, or I didn't burn a second shield, sorry. I only burned 1. But he switched on to Giratina Origin. I go down with so much energy but he does switch lock himself into this match. So now I can ensure that I bring in Articuno despite going down with all that energy. This is just as fine because Articuno can come in here, pretty much clean up. Opponent's going to throw an Omnis Wind here because that was not enough energy for a Shadow Ball. And I'm going to throw the Icy Wind. Let's see if we're going to get another shield here from the opponent. He does not choose to shield, so he lets it go down. Brings in Swampert. This is not optimal. So I'm just going to go straight for the Mega Horn here. We actually got here before he threw the Hydro Can, so he may think it's a drill run. Lets it go through. That's absolutely huge. At this point, I know I could just shield this and pretty much counter down. Well, I have to shield something. That was still a little bit risky, but I'm going to shield this one and just counter down here. I guess shielding the second one makes sense if you know it's Hydro Can, because then you can't go for the Earthquake after you let go of the shield. But still, a little bit risky. Take that match. Kieran 99999 here in the third match. We are showcasing Escavalier into another Giratina. So I'm showing you guys a lot of negative leads here for the team. And although I went 20-5, I am going to throw in a couple of losses here. So this time the opponent switches out into a Snorlax. So instead of the Registeel switch, we see a Snorlax this time. It is a Shadow Snorlax. And remember, a lot of times these Snorlaxes are running Body Slam, Superpower. If that is the case, Giratina has a decent matchup even with Shadow Claw, but because this is Shadow, the Licks are actually doing a lot more damage, and he does have Earthquake, so that is not optimal. So we're most likely going to lose here. I'm going to throw this Dragon Claw. Had I decided to shield that Earthquake, maybe we could have had a chance to regain Switch, and that could have probably flipped this game, but the way it played out, that didn't happen. Letting the Switch timer roll here so that my Switch timer comes up and I can switch once he brings back in the Giratina. Getting ready for the Articuno right away. Brings in a Escavalier. Now this isn't a horrible matchup for Articuno as you've seen in my previous videos. I'm going to throw the Icy in here, debuff the Escavalier, and as long as this is a Mega Horn, I should be in a good position. It's an Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace, okay. So better than Acid Spray, that's for sure. I'm going to throw the Icy in, but I believe Aerial Ace is actually less energy, so that isn't too optimal. It is a very bad move though. So I think here I shield and that's a mistake. I should have definitely let this go through. Yeah, I should have let that go through. And I get to the Icy one. I over tapped it too, which is a huge mistake because now he gets off a move without having to shield or anything. Brings in the Giratina. Yeah, see, so I just made a couple of misplays there. One, the over tap on the Icy win. Two, not letting that Aerial Ace come through. And using that second shield is also a huge mistake. So you could see this game definitely had some potential. If I could have at least have thrown an Icy win at this Giratina, even if it got shielded, just debuffing it could have put me possibly in a position to win this. But with two shields, it would still be very difficult because Giratina is just so dominant against the Escavalier. So not the most optimal position. You could see that winning switch there would have definitely helped if I had shielded that Earthquake, but you have to take the chance that they're not running Earthquake there. And just go with the odds. So Amor Drago here. Next matchup, Escavalier into Poliwrath. This is a pretty neutral matchup. I believe pull in the two shields going straight drill run. So switch into Giratina, gonna catch this Ice Punch. Was hoping to catch the Dynamic Punch, but Ice Punch it is. And the opponent looks like they're staying in here, so I'm gonna throw Dragon Claws. Opponent may think that they are in a good position here with Poliwrath. No, they're gonna switch out into Zangoose. Okay, so here with Zangoose, I'm gonna throw the Dragon Claws. You can see Dragon Claws still chunks away a lot at Zangoose, so I'm gonna let everything go through here. Should survive this Night Slash, get off one more Dragon Claw. We are able to do that. So Dragon Claw is going to come through. You can see it does a lot of damage to Zangoose. And I'm actually going to switch out, not let my Giratina go down, hoping to do what I just did there. And that is farm down the Zangoose before it can realize what's happening. Brings in the Poliwrath. I go for Mega Horn. Drill Run is slightly better there, so you should just go for Drill Run because it's less energy. Does about the same damage. We do shield the Ice Punch there, expecting the Dynamic Punch, so that was a little bit unfortunate. Don't want to go down two shields here, so I am going to take the Dynamic Punch this time and throw a Drill Run here. Had I gone for the Drill Run the first time, I would have had a bit more residual energy, so not optimal, but totally fine. Opponent's going to throw another move. I'm going to shield this, probably just an Ice Punch, but I should be able to get to the farm down here. He switches out into Registeel, so I could throw the Drill Run here, and I'm going to switch out into the Giratina. I was hoping to catch the move, did not work. So he gets some free energy. Bring in the Articuno here. Articuno basically in this position is just going to work as a cushion to catch these moves from the Registeel. Hopefully land an Icy Wind, which I'm able to do. And he has to throw. So especially because he's getting this low, he has to throw now. I should be able to come in and farm down with the Escavalier and then be able to take out the Poliwrath with the Drill Run because I'm pretty sure he has no energy. So a Drill Run comes through. We're going to take that game. You can see that was a tough position to be in the back with pretty much an Escavalier with like, what, 30% health and an Articuno against a Registeel. So that wasn't too optimal. Went 4-1 in that first set. Tanaka and Boy here leading a Lapras. So you can see a lot of these leads, like opposite now. A lot of these leads were horrible for my Articuno before. Now they're amazing with the Escavalier. So this looks like just hard counter city. You know, gonna bring in the Escavalier into Lapras, switch out into his own Escavalier. I'm gonna bring in my Giratina. And you best believe that whatever's in the back is gonna be weak to Articuno as well. So this looks like pretty much a triple counter team. Just perfect alignment for us. And at this point here, I'm actually gonna look to farm down, I believe, with the Giratina. Yeah, we're gonna, oh, okay, that's a little bit unfortunate. I'm gonna shield this up because I have so much energy. You don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose switch either. And now Lapras comes in. This Lapras is full health, so take note of this. I have so much energy. I'm gonna throw Dragon Claw, throw a second Dragon Claw, and I'm gonna look to throw a third Dragon Claw. And even though this is a horrible matchup, look at how much damage I've already done to this Lapras. It's already below 50% health. If I could get one more here, it would literally be in the red. So Escavalier is going to come in now. Lapras has a lot of energy. I know I could take a Surf. I know I could take two Surfs technically. So I'm going to throw the Drill Run away before he gets to the second Surf, which is huge for us. He's not going to shield, so that's perfect. It brings in Giratina. And saving your two shields for Giratina against an Articuno team is not going to do it. So even though this is a 2-1 shield advantage for the Giratina, it's just too steep of a hill to climb here. One shield is enough for Articuno here. Once you debuff it with the first Icy Wind, it's pretty much GG's. And I don't think he could reset this because I don't think he has any Pokemon left to switch out into. So this is pretty much game over here. And yeah, opponent's going to back out. So that was an example of like when everything goes right with this team. I catch them all here. Escavalier into Melmetal. So again, you know, part of the thing with using this team was that it felt really nice to get some revenge on these Melmetal leads. Opponent switches out into Cresselia here, which definitely is not a good counter for Escavalier. So that tells me most likely this team is extremely weak to Escavalier, or he just does not have a counter to Escavalier. So I didn't want to catch that Moonblast on the Escavalier, but since I did, I'm actually going to go for one more Mega Horn here, or now that he beat me to this move, I'll probably farm up. Don't know if I'll throw this here. Let's see. I'm going to overfarm a little. I am going to throw the Mega Horn, okay? And I guess in this position, I'm actually contemplating staying in this matchup because I could just line up the Giratina after with the Melmetal. So it's not a horrible position. So Moonblast comes here. I'm just going to ensure that I would switch here. I'm staying in with the Escavalier. So I'm going to throw Drill on. This is definitely an option to play as well, to stay in here with the Escavalier. Opponent's shielding, so they really want switch. Or they're just really afraid of this Escavalier. So I'm going to shield up here. I believe we can farm down at this point. He switches out into... Did not see what he switched out into there. Switches into Obstagoon. Okay, so yeah, this is a team completely weak to Escavalier. So thankfully Articuno actually has a decent matchup against Obstagoon, especially with this health. He gets the attack boost though, so that is not optimal, especially because I have no shield. So I need to get rid of this as soon as possible. Throwing the Icy Wind. Because he was already so low in health, we should survive this and be able to, best case scenario, farm down. Let's see if we could do that. We are able to farm down, which is huge. I should have an Icy Wind ready. I'm going to throw it at the Melmetal. This is perfect because this debuff is going to make things a lot easier for my Giratina. So I'm going to switch out right now. The main reason you could switch on to Giratina here is because you know that he has Cresselia in the back, so it's not like horrible. And the Cresselia is very low, so I could just keep my energy. You could see there, I was expecting the switch, so I did not throw anything. Got a little bit of extra energy to farm. Now I'm going to throw these Shadow Sneaks at the Melmetal. And we are going to be able to take this game as well. So I play that one a little bit differently, staying in with the Escavalier as opposed to switching out, because the Escavalier still has a very good matchup here. Here I forgot to film the start because, you know, these battles take a long time in queue sometimes, but basically this was a Escavalier into a Swampert lead, which is very bad. So I switched out into my Giratina, and then he switched out into his Lapras. So Giratina into Lapras here, obviously a very bad matchup here. I'm just going to try to spam Dragon Claws, do the best I can here. See if I can come back from this, because this is a pretty tough lead here. Got hard countered in the lead, and a pretty hard counter here in the switch. Get hit by the Ice Beam, which is not optimal, but I could bring in a Escavalier here. And I'm going to throw the Drill Run because I don't want to get hit by a Surf, but this will not KO. So let's see if I can farm down a counter. I'm able to, so that's perfect. Expect the Swampert to come back in. I'm probably going to look to land one move here, either get the shield or just hope he lets the move go through. I'm going to go for the drill run though, because I'm expecting the shield here. That's why I'm going for drill run. We do get the shield. I'm going to switch out into Articuno. And the opponent is going to throw a Hydro Cannon here. It's not going to do much to Articuno, and he's going to bring Cresselia, so this is actually playable still. We do have play here with Articuno into Cresselia. So I am going to throw the Icy Wind here. We do have a shield advantage, remember that. So this is going to be a Moonblast most likely. I'm going to shield up the first one. And at this point, we should actually win this matchup. So what it's going to come down to really is whether or not I can beat that Swampert in the back. And I think maintaining my shield for that might be the play. But we're going to see how this continues here. Moonblast is going to throw this Icy Wind. After this Icy Wind, I should be able to survive one more move. I bring in the Escavalier here. He's going to bring in the Swampert, so that's amazing because that gives me an energy lead. So he's going to have to shield this if he wants to win. And there's no way I'm shielding the Escavalier here, I believe. Is there? No, there's no reason to shield here. So I'm going to let it go through. Come in with the Articuno. And I believe with the shield, I should be able to farm down here. Because he should be drawing energy now. And it's really going to come down to whether or not I could farm down. Because I need the Icy Wind for the Cresselia. We are able to farm down. Cresselia comes back in. I'm going to throw the Icy Wind here. This should be just about enough to knock it out with one more ice. Oh my gosh, he got to the move. Is this a Moonblast? It's only a Grass Knot. We survive that and we take that game. So Lucas VEB here in the next matchup. Escavalier into Cresselia. So we've seen how this plays out. Pretty good matchup for Escavalier, as you see across the board. I actually switch out here, which is a very uncharacteristic play by me, into Giratina. And the main reason I switch out here is because I'm expecting him to have something that Escavalier is going to need to beat in the back maybe. So by switching out here, I actually do draw out the Registeel, which is pretty good. Because now I don't have to deal with it for the Articuno, and that might give Articuno a lot of play in the back. So I don't think winning switch here is as important actually, because both the Escavalier and Articuno could do well against that Cresselia that I know he has. So the main important thing here is just to get to Registeel as low as possible. I actually did choose to burn a shield. Flash Cannon comes through. Am I going to try and win switch? I mean, winning switch is never bad, right? Like, if we can. But I don't think it's a situation where I'd want to go for 2 shields. So I'm going to throw the Dragonfly here. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to go try to win switch. I think another way to play that would have been to actually let it go down and then farm up energy. But winning switch here is actually going to be a lot more crucial, because now I could align the Articuno with the Swampert and the Escavalier with the Cresselia, which is going to be much more dominant position to be in. So Swampert's going to throw the Hydro Cannon here. Probably has enough for 2 to be honest. So it's going to beat me to it again. I'm going to let this go through. This oh no, I'm not going to let it go through. I'm going to shield. Okay, so at this point, I guess what I want to do is just eliminate this Swampert. I know that Escavalier is such a dominant position in the back. So he's going to switch out into Cresselia. I'm going to bring in the Escavalier. I did not even debuff it there, because I want to keep that Icy Wind for the Swampert in the back, knowing that if I do win this match here, it's very likely that the Swampert's going to have to throw energy to get rid of my Escavalier, meaning that I'll be able to beat it to an Icy Wind after. Opponent lets that Mega Horn go through, which is absolutely huge. And if they're only running Moonblast and Grass Knot here, we're in an excellent position. Doesn't look like they have Future Sight. Should be able to farm down here. I will be able to get the shield here because the Escavalier wins CMP. So Drill Run's going to come through. And to be honest, I might beat it to this next move as well. No. Okay, so looks like CMP more or less. He's going to throw Hydro Cannon. I'm going to bring in Articuno right away. We got the Icy Wind ready. And that's why I stored the Icy Wind there for this situation. And we're going to take that match. So again, another good game. And we go 4-1 in that set as well. So basically, these were all 4-1 sets. No 5-0s, no 3-2s, just straight 4-1s across all 5. Ningaitan here, Escavalier into Blastoise. I don't really like this matchup too much. You could see Escavalier does decent in the 2 shields, but I never really want to use 2 shields in this position here in the lead. So I'm just going to switch out, or at least try to switch out, but we do get caught by this Hydro Cannon. So I'm going to actually shield it up, because I feel like this Escavalier is going to have a lot of play in the back. And I'm actually just going to go for the Drill Run again at this point, since I got stuck getting hit by the Hydro Cannon. I decided, you know what, I may as well try and go for the Drill Run. And at this point here, I figure, you know, may as well go into the 2 shields because I already messed up my original plan. So I farm down the Blastoise. That's how the 2 shields works there. He brings in Giratina, which is not optimal, and I could decide to switch out here, preserve that energy for the Escavalier prevent the farm down, but because my team is just, the back line is just so like, it matches up so well against particular matches. Like this, for example, Articuno lines up so well against Giratina, so I don't want to like ruin that opportunity. He has Ancient Power, which is pretty crazy, but totally fine. Gonna throw the Ice in here. He's gonna get the shield, and he's gonna switch out into Escavalier, so I'm gonna bring in Giratina, and this here basically won me the game, you see. Not switching out, because, well, I mean, in this situation, he kind of had a pretty rough line, because Escavalier and Giratina in the back is pretty weak to Articuno, Giratina in the back, but for the way it worked out, it's pretty good for us, because Giratina is obviously going to hard counter the Escavalier here. I'm going to look to farm up a little bit, then throw the Dragon Claw. This should be enough, and I'm hoping I have enough residual energy to get to this next Dragon Claw on the Giratina, which is necessary because remember, he has Ancient Power, and I don't want that Articuno taking any more damage considering how low it is. So it was important to overfarm there a bit on the Escavalier. Kentasaurus here. Next matchup, Escavalier into Escavalier. So here we go, the mirror match. And, you know, my IVs aren't great. Obviously, I have 2 attack. So I should probably be losing CMP most of the time. Gonna throw this drill on. I believe my Escavalier's rank like 150 or something. And you can see the opponent here is actually over farming a lot. And I've noticed that people who tend to do this actually end up having a team that is very weak to Escavalier in the back. And they're just trying to force you into letting your Escavalier go as low as possible. So I chose the shield here. The Mega Horn comes through. And he's going to bring in Lapras. So I'm going to go for the drill run here. You can see when he brings in Lapras, it's kind of telling you his team might be extremely weak in the back to Escavalier. And now I have no real answer anymore for the Lapras. So what do I do here? I have to bring in the Giratina and hope that I can get off some Dragon Claws because they still do chunks. So Ice Beam comes through. I'm going to throw the Dragon Claw here. And I should be able to get to another Dragon Claw before one more Ice Beam, but it won't be, or will this be enough to KO? This is actually quite interesting. It is enough to KO. Wow, that is amazing. Registeel comes in though. This is not optimal. I have Articuno in the back. So you can, his team was all weak to Escavalier. Escavalier sweeps that team. So I'm trying to catch the Flash Can here on Articuno, which I am able to do. And hoping that I could get off some Ice Demons here, but this is such an uphill battle still. Need to get off this Ice Demon. Not able to do it. Even if I did, probably not going to play any factor in the game because this Giratina is definitely in Flash Cannon range. So we are going to lose this game against a team that is triple weak to my lead. But you could see the opponent play that very well, realizing how weak their line was to Escavalier and ensuring that they did whatever it took to make sure my Escavalier was out of the picture for them, and they definitely fooled me into doing that. So GG's to them. Escavalier into Shadow Machamp. Very difficult matchup here. And this is probably the one situation where I will stay in with Escavalier because my only other counter to Machamp on this team, or my only counter in general, is Giratina. So I don't want to bring that in now. Definitely don't want to bring in Articuno. So I'm just going to try to get out of this with a 1 shield advantage. Bring in Giratina. I love that he's throwing here because you want him to waste that energy on Giratina rather than the Articuno. Switches out into Melmetal. So this is not looking good. Thankfully, we do have a shield lead, which is going to be huge for us in this particular scenario. So let's see how we play this out, because this is actually a very difficult match to come back from. So we do get the Shadow Sneak here. I'm going to have to start investing shields here, of course, because I need that Giratina for the Machamp skill as well. And Rock Slide's going to come through. I'm going to waste my first shield here. Or rather, not waste. No, not waste. Spend my first shield, because it's definitely not waste, keeping the Giratina alive. Going to throw the Shadow Sneak. And now I think we're in farm down range. She brings in, I did not see what that was, but whatever it was, it's going to catch a Dragon Claw. That's not optimal. It's Snorlax. I'm going to bring in Articuno here. This is absolutely perfect for us. And I'm not going to shield here because Articuno does still win in the 0 shields. Not with the energy lead on Snorlax, but because I did lower the health of that Dragon Claw, it should be pretty even still. So I don't need any shields here. I'm going to take this next Body Slam. And I believe I'll look to throw the Icy one here because I don't think I can farm down. Am I going to go for the farm down? Okay, well, because we had the shield safety there, so it kind of made sense to go for the farm down, I guess. I'm going to shield this and switch on to Giratina, but unfortunately I clicked the Icy one, which is not what I wanted to do. because at this point I realized I need to get an energy lead on Giratina to beat this Machamp. Fortunately for us, we do get to the Dragon Claw. Not pushing any bubbles on that Icy Wind allowed me to get that one extra Shadow Claw, which I think was the difference to beating the 2 Rock Slide, because I don't think Cross Chop would KO there. So fortunate for us after misclicking the Icy Wind, but we do pull off that incredible win against the Shadow Machamp lead, and a Melmetal switch, so very difficult. Obstagoon here against Keystone Comet switches out into Giratina. This looks like another hard counter city line, so brings in Giratina. I'm going to bring in the Articuno. This is one of the first times I think I'm bringing an Articuno to face the switch as opposed to Giratina. So let's see what happens here. Giratina is going to throw, well, I mean, it's going to be a Dragon Claw, obviously. We don't have to see what's going to happen. And they're going to be meeting another. I'm going to let everything go through here. And let's see if I'm going to commit to the farm down. No, I'm going to throw the Ice Wing. So he's going to get to one more Dragon Claw. It wouldn't KO, of course, but this is fine. I was hoping to maybe get one more Ice Shard in, but we're not able to. Can I get this Icy Wind through? That is huge for us. Icy Wind coming through against this Obstagoon, because it is going to farm us down. So getting off the Icy Wind's amazing. And I'm going to bring back in the Escavalier. Switched out into Charizard. Got to get out of there right away. And with 2 shields on each side, this should be a pretty clear win for us, because Giratina has a pretty good match against Charizard. And Obstagoon against Escavalier, pretty favorable matchup for us as well. So gonna let this Charizard throw whatever it wants at me. Not looking to use any shields here. If anything, there's more pressure on the opponent to use shields because they're in the tight spot here, so they do use a shield. At this point, they're just trying to get my shields, and I'm going to beat them to this next Dragon Claw. Do they want to go down 2 shields? They do. So I'm expecting to switch, get the switch tray ready, bring in a Escavalier. Definitely don't have to worry about anything here, but at the same time, you have to worry about the Fire Spin damage. So that's why I chose to shield there, because I don't want to get farmed down unexpectedly. Night Slash comes through, and now I have the charge move ready. Just gonna go for Mega Horn. He's in range of anything. I don't think he's in range of Drill Run actually, but maybe he is. I don't know. Either way, Yappy 1121, and we're gonna be leading Escavalier into Swampert. So very difficult lead again. And you can see this video definitely featured a lot of difficult leads. And I'm gonna switch out into Giratina to catch the Hydro Cannon. You love to see it. That is basically what I try to do every time against Swampert. You try to catch the Hydro Cannon onto the Giratina. Make sure it wastes that energy. Try not to switch out right away because you don't want Swampert leaving with energy. So try to land the Hydro Cannon onto the Giratina. Here we get met by a Melmetal. We've seen how this played out already once before. All you want to do here is ensure that you win switch because you want the Articuno on the Swampert. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Sneak here. If you commit to shields, I'm pretty sure Giratina will win this. The only way Giratina loses, I believe, in the 0 shields. But once you start committing shields, Giratina is going to beat Melmetal because you could farm it down, whereas it cannot farm it down with Thunder Shock. So we did go down a shield, but we take switch, and we have a bunch of energy ready to throw at the Swampert now. So there's 1 Dragon Claw. Here's 2 Dragon Claws. And I don't know if he could farm. He could farm it down, but he's going to take a lot of Dragon Claws, so it's going to be a risky play. He is going for the straight farm now, so he's going to catch 1 more Dragon Claw. This is going to get the shield, because he's in knockout range now. And I almost got to another one there. Gonna bring an Articuno here to soak all this damage. Articuno is the sponge on this team. Catching these Hydro Cannons, catch another Hydro Cannon, and we're actually in farm down range here on the Swampert. So opponent switched out into Escavalier. I'm going to throw the Icy Wind if I could stop lagging. We do get the Icy Wind off. And now we just bring in Escavalier here with the energy lead. And with the debuffed attack on the opponent, excellent position to be in. I'm going to get that drill run through. Probably won't shield this one, to be honest, because it is debuffed. And we should beat it to the next drill run. No, we don't. Okay, so at this point we have to shield. And you could actually consider farming down here maybe. So I could have definitely overfarmed a little bit there. But I guess it really isn't too important because this Swampert has like no HP in the back. Can't really farm it down anyways. So do take that game, go 20-5 overall, and I really enjoyed this team. So that's probably the last Ultra League video I will be uploading for this current time in the season. Master League starts tomorrow, so we're definitely going to get onto that. But I just want to say that double ice strategy definitely still works. And despite what you've been seeing in these recent videos, I had been using double ice still outside of them. And 90% of the time I'm using double ice in my battles. And it's still working because I'm moving up there on the leaderboard. I don't know how I'm going to do in Master League, not my best league, so I might tank pretty hard. Who knows, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll rank up. Either way, I'm going to look to put out some Master League content for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.